this for the Di Ellis Trophy, and it sees Pepper of Nottingham Rowing Club up against Andrews of Putney High.
Yeah. So Emma Andrews of Putney High School and Megan Pepper, and they're off. I mean, what a fantastic opportunity in a junior single. So even to get yourself here, all the way up, to do your own warm-up, to get yourself onto the course. But it's Pepper of Nottingham taking the early lead down the island. One of those fantastic drone shots now. She's taken half a length lead. She's come very close over to the boys on the bank side. And this is always a little worry because when the boys turn into booms, you don't want to be too close. She's being pushed across now by Andrews of Putney High. I imagine there might be a bit of umpire flag waving at this point, trying to pull them apart, and they're moving apart. They've got themselves safely. It's just tricky because it feels that bit by the island, doesn't it? It feels so much narrower than it really is because you're enclosed. So they've kind of overcompensated and gone over the other side now.
And that transition bit between having, if you like, the island and the bank going into a little buoyed area, and then the woodwork and the booms. It is the same width.
Wow,
but it doesn't seem it.
We've got a race on here. Though. We had a lead to start off with by Putney High, Andrews of Putney High. She had half a length lead, but perhaps that steering cost her because she's now been overtaken by Pepper of Nottingham. And now Pepper of Nottingham has the half length lead. Look at that reach. She's got amazing reach there, long strokes. They're both still up at 36.
That is one heck of a rate, isn't it?
I had them at 37 at the end of the island still, which in a junior single is going at some, really. She's at 34 and a half now, and she's really, really put that spurt on. I think she, held her nerve when perhaps there was a bit of steering going on, a bit of warning. And now, from being half a length down within the space of 500-600 metres, she's taken that now to a 2-length lead.
It was all about that scrap at the start, trying to get in front, wasn't it? Just on the first 50 metres or so. So we're now a third of the way down this 1,500 metre course, and she's got a lead now.
This is Emma
at least 2 lengths.
Emma Andrews of Putney High. Really, wow, she's got that. She's just held that rate high. Now she's just dropped it down. And I was just yesterday. Got on the launches and actually saw the drone for the first time.
Yeah.
So I hadn't seen it. I didn't quite know what to expect.
It had to land yesterday. I love these trivial sort of stories, don't you? It had to land yesterday because there was, we got a lot of red kites around here.
Yeah.
A red kite was taking too much interest in it. So it had to make a quick landing. Isn't that brilliant?
I think we've cut away from that race now.
The next race on the course is the second one in this batch of 4 for the junior single sculls for the Di Ellis Trophy. This is Holgate of Nottingham and Blackett of Reading. To give them their full titles, their names are?
So we've got Lucy Holgate of Nottingham Rowing Club, and we have Shay Blackett of Reading Rowing Club. And actually I saw the Reading Rowing Club sculler in the time trial this morning.
Uh-huh.
I remember seeing her in the time trial and thinking, she looks good. She was shifting in the time trial.
She's fast.
Actually I saw them coming down in the time trial, and quite a few of them made me perk up my interest and go, they're moving the boat really well.
Yeah.
And she was one of them. So I hope she does my predictions justice and doesn't. Yeah. So there, she's pulled out a good lead now.
The funny thing I noticed this morning in the time trial, and it was the single sculls I was watching as well, the coaches on the bank making the most noise were the crews that were not going the quickest. The coaches on the bank that were just cycling and being cool, their girls were shifting.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah. So she's at 34 now, Shay Blackett. Again, these shots you can just see getting right out over she's got that wing rigger boat. You can just see her matching those angles there. I think you actually see the bend on the blades there. She's giving some work.
We hope you're enjoying watching these images, and there we are. That's the.
She's in a UK. I don't know. I should know more about her, but I don't. I'm afraid. But I do notice she's in a UK lottery boat, and I noticed that this morning. So I wonder if she's a world-class start athlete. I really should know. I'm afraid I don't. But I would
Putney
say
High
that
School.
she does.
They're not.
This Reading Rowing Club. She's
Beg your pardon.
Yeah,
well, Reading Rowing Club.
And they do that.
Yeah, Reading Rowing Club. Yes.
She will be a world-class start athlete.
She is. Yeah.
Been picked up. Been given some extra coaching, and potential spotted. And I'd say certainly that's paying off at the moment. Lucy Holgate of Nottingham Rowing Club, putting in a good performance herself there.
I've just been asked about the results, and if you want the results of the races, including the times and distances, you can go to HWR regattaresults.co.uk. I'll say that again. The site that you can access to get the results is HWR, and as if by magic it has appeared on the screen. So if you want to take a now what kids do at my college is they take a picture of that, a snapshot of that, and then they've got it.
Yeah, I know. I still write it down. I still get
I'm a
piece
bit
of
old
paper
school.
and write it down, which is
Yeah,
rubbish.
HWR.regattaresults.co.uk for all of the results, including the times and distances, and you can see how your crews are progressing. If you're listening from overseas, a very, very good afternoon. If you're listening from Australia, bad luck. 2-0 to England. They win the series, having beaten Australia this morning in the rugby, and I am as pleased as punch.
Good.
Good for you.
I'm glad about that.
Are you?
I'm afraid I'm only following the rowing this weekend, so if
I got distracted.
anything else is going on,
No,
I'm not. That's not a. I'm glad that you have other interests, but for me, this is a good. So, Blackett has dropped her rate to 28. She's really been quite measured in the second half, I think.
Yeah.
She got out to the couple of lengths lead, and then she's just maintained that.
Yeah.
Looking very powerful. Look at those finishes. Now we're really able to see from those shots now.
Very good indeed. Tom will know about this young lady and her performances at national schools. Single sculler, was she? Ready?
Putting you on the spot. Putting you on the spot.
She start.
She is.
Yeah.
She did start. Yeah.
Is that Emma Andrews in the other?
Yes.
No.
No.
Lucy Holgate.
Lucy Holgate. I'll drop one on you there, Tom. I thought you might know that.
But she is
never
GB
mind.
start. So I think, barring some tragedy, she's got that one wrapped up. It's been very confident. It'll be really exciting to see her progress through to the next rounds. It must be quite, it's an inspiring year to be a junior sculler at the moment. Being able to race here and then watch the Rio Olympics and see where you might be heading, perhaps.
Yes, indeed. This is the second. This is another heat, of the junior single sculls for the Di Ellis Trophy, which sees Mossbourne nearest to us against Wallingford Rowing Club. Now, we've seen some very, very good scullers from Wallingford, and I think we are seeing another one here as she powers her way down the back of Temple Island, just coming up to the Boyd area. The transition there between the island and the booms, and it's a very, very impressive start from the Wallingford sculler here, Alison.
Yeah, again, with the maturity of these girls in getting off the start, really high ratings, both of them. But it is the Wallingford sculler who has taken the lead, perhaps half to a length lead, approaching the end of the island. Georgia Fry.
You can see there from the overhead shot that she's got clear water now. And that's a decent lead at this stage of the race. However, we have seen scullers come back. Sometimes they go off too quick. They just use up too much fuel and then run out of energy. But this looks to be a very, very competent sculler indeed.
I mean, we expect, in these, because this is the first race, the first side-by-side race in these junior races this afternoon, we would expect them to be bigger gaps, because these girls, they raced in the time trial this morning, and that was used to seed these races. But we don't get told the times. No one gets told the times. but you would expect one of these scullers to be considerably faster. We don't get told, we don't know who. And there we've got another UK lottery boat there, so we've got another GB Star athlete there in Georgia
Wallingford.
Fry
Yeah.
of Wallingford.
I'm going to vacate the chair a moment and let Tom take over for a few minutes, and I'm going to try and stop that bloke drilling holes in my cabin.
That's okay. Thanks, Tom.
What race are we on? Sorry,
We are, I know, it was awkward for me jumping in as well, but we've got race 150, junior. So here on the course at the moment, showing we've got race 150, the heat of the junior single scullers between Bernstein of Mossbourne and Fry of Wallingford Rowing Club.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Wallingford obviously always perform well on the junior circuit. Pretty impressive pedigree from them. And Mossbourne are a state school from Hackney. They were the first state school ever to introduce places in Year 9 for students who showed physical aptitude for rowing.
Fantastic.
So they are quite a unique school. They've got a really impressive project down there. I forget the name of their coach. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, but he's building from the bottom. Junior 14, Junior 15. They've got a really strong foundation there. And I think their headmaster is really, really, really big into rowing, so he wants to drive the whole sport throughout the school. And they're making a bit of a name for themselves, but it doesn't look like the Wallingford sculler to me is.
Well, we'd hope that
Well,
we'd hope that it's fantastic. You know, to have that other opportunity opening up. We'd hope that in the future they will see their own GB Star athletes. But at the moment, it's Georgia Fry. I mean, the very well established rowing club of Wallingford Rowing Club, the big junior programme.
Now, we were talking about this earlier. Wallingford scullers rowing in a reverse wing Philippi scull.
It's interesting.
Now, we were talking about the virtues of a reverse wing boat. Is there any light you can shed on that? What difference does it actually make?
I had a traditional wing rigger, so around the front. I guess it does. I don't know why. I guess it. You're always looking for more rigidity in a boat, so that more of what the work that you put through into the water gets placed through the water.
Sure.
So I guess that's probably something to do with that.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, she's absolutely street ahead, isn't she? She's 3 or 4 lengths up now.
And now you're just able to. I mean, you're in that enviable position.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just conserving yourself.
Absolutely. I mean, if it might be worth, passing back up to the start here.
Yeah. Right to start now.
For the next heat of the junior women's single sculls with Winnipeg Rowing Club on the Berkshire station and BTC Southampton on the Buckinghamshire station. So local club for me.
An international race. So we've got.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great to see Canadian scullers making the trip across the pond. We've had a couple from Winnipeg who haven't fared that well this morning, so let's hope for better for this sculler, because it's a big old trip to be knocked out in the first round.
I know. I always feel. I know it shouldn't make any difference because everyone wants to do well in their first rounds and not be knocked out. But I do feel, I went for Cruise, but this one's going to be a close one. We've had a couple of races that have been decided by the end of the island, and this one certainly isn't. It's absolutely neck and neck now between these two scullers.
If you watch their bows, it's every stroke is going, one past the other, one past the other.
But now I think Emma Gray of Winnipeg, Canada, is just inching out. Took a while.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if she's come all the way from Canada, she must have some pedigree about her, some form in the boat. And I think she's stealing a march now. See, the start in the single is absolutely crucial, but I think she's decided 300 metres in, right, I'm going to take this race by the scruff of the neck and see what I can do. And she's moving out to half a length now?
Possibly more, yeah. She's kept her rate a bit higher. She's at 32.5 to the Southampton sculler. She's dropped hers. She didn't quite manage to get up there, so she's kind of 28. And now, she's pulled out a good Emma Gray of Canada. So it's going to be worth her trip. She's going to get another race out of this. We really hope.
Well, I think certainly clear water in the single scull is so important because it's a one-on-one mental head game, isn't it? And if you've got clear water over your opponent and you in the boat, behind can no longer see your opponent even in your peripheral vision, that's a big mental thing.
You just relax. I mean,
exactly.
It's kind of, there's something quite fun in being side by side, but you don't want that too early in the competition.
No, absolutely. I mean,
you don't have to blow out your legs too early in the competition.
Completely. I mean, she can now. I mean, she's stretched out to that. Looks like 2 lengths to me now. She can sort of not quite sit back and relax, but enjoy her row down the Henley course, get the sightseeing out of the way with, and then sort of focus in on the competition
Yeah.
later on, because obviously your first row, and I assume it's one of her first rows down the course,
Yeah.
our Canadian Sculler. I mean, that's going to be quite the sight to be rowing down with the crowds and the colours and the beautiful Fawley court out there on the left hand side. So she's going to be rowing down the course thinking, this is all a bit nice, isn't it?
But I always, I just think how fantastic it is to have to have an international competition and people coming over. I volunteered at the Junior World Rowing Championships last year in Rio, and just seeing all the nations, the kids of 15 to 18 years hanging out together, talking mostly in English. We have the advantage there, but you've got the kids being able to speak several languages, and you just think how fantastic that is for kind of future of the world, really, that the sport brings people together like this at such a young age, and you just get used to get that kind of world view.
I mean, you look at sort of, you're right. I mean, in terms of football players, they argue and there's never any of that in rowing.
I was wondering. We've got the Euros on at the moment, the football, and I was wondering where's our segregation? I mean, we have got Bristol supporters there sitting right next to Bedford High School, and I'm quite surprised that they're managing to control themselves and behave well. They're not at each other's throats, and we've got no police maintaining that. It's quite shocking.
Absolutely bet your bottom dollar that the Sculler from Canada and the Sculler from let me have a little look. Southampton. They'll be saying congratulations to each other over the line, which, although it happens in football, it's a bit bitter, isn't it? All in football. Whereas the girl from Canada, she is the proverbial mile ahead.
So I think we can say that race is wrapped up. I'm going back up to